Hey guys, what's up? It's Diana Prince, and these eyelashes are really killing me. Anyways, I thought I'd show my look. I'm starting to, and I have like a million things around me, I'm starting to get worried that my photographer isn't gonna show up. This is why I get nervous. I hardly ever get nervous, but this is why I get nervous when shooting with someone new, because all of the time communicating, all of the time planning, money invested in my wardrobe, and then my time getting ready, and then I'm sitting here and there's no confirmation. And you would think, okay, you got confirmation last night, so that would be enough. And now it's after 8 o'clock and I've messaged, I've called, no answer, no response, and I don't know. This is why it's extremely hard to trust working with someone new. And you always hope, if you're a good person, you're always hoping that they're okay. Of course, you want them to be okay. But when it becomes no longer a factor, you know, it just adds up. I don't know how to say it. You just think like, well, this is why I don't like to shoot with anyone new. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. And I don't know. I take other people's time as valuable as I take my own. And I didn't intend for this to turn into a rant or me expressing myself about the things and topics that I've already covered many times on my show. But I just want to go on record for every model and every photographer out there. It really, really is disheartening when you plan for weeks, for days, for months, for one shoot, and you invest money in brand new clothes just for that shoot. You clear your day, and the night before you prepare so you're not scrambling in the morning, and you are prepared. And then all the time communicating. I take my time extremely valuable, like to the highest value. So of course, I mean, if I value my time, I'm going to value the time of the people who I'm around. Whether it's reciprocated and it happens, it's hopefully. But you know, I don't live off of hope. I just know how I operate. And I'm going to value your time simply, if nothing else, because I value my own. So time planning, time going back and forth. And I've said this so much, and I know photographers can relate to going back and forth with models, communicating for a shoot with several models, and then having models flake at the last minute or show up extremely late, and how communication, you spent all that time communicating with them, and it ends up being for nothing. It ends up being a waste of your time. And so I'm always siding with photographers. If you look at my past shows, I'm always siding with the photographer. I know what it's like because I work with, deal with so many different models, and everybody has different goals, everybody has different personalities, everybody has different flaws, faults, habits. We all do. But one thing for me is that trust. If you have no track record with me, it's going to be extremely hard for me to trust you. And not just because others I didn't know and I trusted them and it didn't work out, but because of the fact that we have no history. I don't care what you've been able to produce with others. I don't care about backlash that you may have received from people that you worked with and they were unhappy. I care about our history. And if, in fact, we have no history, then starting off on a bad foot is never going to be good. Starting off on a sour note is never going to be pleasant, because then, you know, I think trust is earned, really. I don't think it's a given. I don't think you just get trust. I think it's earned. So it's hard to give somebody the opportunity to break my trust again or earn my trust when we have no history. We have no history at all. If we've worked together and we've produced greatness and we've come together and we love working together and we're having a great time and we want to work together again, then it's going to be a foundation that's already there, even if it's, you know, one time we've already worked together and we're like, okay, we have that. But without having any foundation, then what do we have? We have nothing. It's so hard because most of my closest friends are not models. They are photographers, and they are designers or boutique owners, magazine owners that work with and deal with models. And so I hear it from them personally. We talk amongst ourselves, and I hear it from reading Facebook posts about models flaking, about photographers renting studios and just for a model, or renting a hotel suite and she doesn't show, doesn't bother to cancel. And then, you know, you think of the basic things as far as communication. If the communication was good, you're going to have some sort of trust, even if you've never worked with them. And then if the communication was good and you get that vibe, you know, like they're excited, this and that, and you've done the research on them, you automatically assume it, number one, it's going to happen, and number two, it's going to be successful. It's going to produce positive results, that specific shoot. So that's what you assume when you have great communication and you've done the research on that person. So what happens when you do the research and you have great communication and then they still flake or cancel? You know what? I think, rule of thumb, anybody in this business would agree, it's so much better to cancel, even if it's last minute, than to simply just flake. I mean, if you flake, obviously there's no way we're going to work together again. Like I said, I value my time, and so I value other people's time. It's kind of really simple to me, you know. I don't judge people on why they have to cancel. There's a million reasons why people have to cancel, and some I can understand, some I can't. Some I can relate to, some I can't relate to. But in the end, it's about the professionalism. It's about you wanting people to value you. I mean, it really starts with yourself. That's just in life. Not to get too philosophical, because I'm supposed to be shooting right now. But it's really about you. If you're confident in yourself, you're confident in your ability, other people will be. If you see yourself as being a professional, even if you aren't a quote-unquote professional, you will be. You can have fancy equipment. You can have worked with 1,000 people. If you are sloppy with communication, if you are horrible at planning, if you're not good at organizing, and you don't keep your commitments, bottom line, then it does not, none of those things matter, because you're building your reputation, if not with everyone, with that person. And it comes down to this: do you value your time? How many times have models canceled on you the very last minute and you've already invested time and money? How many times has a model not canceled and they just simply flaked, just wasted your time, disrespected the whole process, and they don't care about the name they're building for themselves. They don't care about you. They care about whatever is happening with them at that moment in time, and they're not concerned at all about their commitment as a professional, as a human being, as a model, as a photographer. So I say this: put yourself in people's shoes always, always, before you expect them to understand, before you get emotional that people are reacting off of action. Every action has a reaction. So my whole point in saying this, and I've finally been able to say it on video, not that it matters, but I've said this so many times, it's all about your word. It's all about keeping your word, and it's all about being professional. It does not matter how expensive your equipment is. It does not matter how many models you've worked with, how many photographers you've worked with, what magazines that you've been in. All of those things are going to define a true professional. But in the end, it's going to be your behavior. So if you value your time, you value your money, you value your energy, your positive energy that you could be giving towards someone else, or just specifically not giving to that person. If you value yourself and value your reputation, value what you're offering to people, every person's going to matter. You don't just blow it off as, well, that was just one photographer. Oh, well, that was just one model, whatever. Building bad habits and showing a pattern. because even if someone does want to work with you again, even after something failed for whatever reason, you're still gonna have to like not repeat that pattern. Once you start repeating it, then you're back to square one. So anyways, over 10 minutes, I'm going to check my Facebook page again. I think I've been very well spoken without using my emotions. I'm extremely unhappy right now because I was not prepared. Listen to my voice. No. I was not fully prepared for this shoot, as far as I usually plan my shoots weeks in advance, or at least a solid week in advance. So this was kind of last minute. They contacted me. Make note of that. Not that it matters, but it's a fact. And I spent the past 3 or 4 days communicating, lots of communication. I'm very busy. I'm a very busy woman, and this is true. And I spent lots of time communicating back and forth. It took me time to come up with an outfit. I wanted to be motivated. So I got motivated to do the summer cheesecake sailor girl because I ordered this vintage, and this is real vintage. So I was very excited about that. And just all the time preparing and communication and setting up. I set up a backdrop, and then I decided, well, maybe if she wants to shoot outside, we'll shoot there. So I had 2 options for today. I'm fully ready, including my little pouch. It looks like a pouch here. It's because this is so tight. But I'm fully ready. I've got my little socks on. I've got my heels over there ready. I've got my hat on, my lashes, my makeup, and I'm ready. And so no communication whatsoever, and so it sucks. If I had to go strictly off of emotions, but emotions based upon my reaction to someone's action, there you go, then it would be, this really sucks, because it's not about who I think I am and who does she think she is. I know who I am. I'm confident in what I do, in all aspects of my professional life. And I value myself. I value people's time. And this is really upsetting. Extremely upsetting, because I get up at 5 a.m. I've been up. I could have continued with my work today. I could have booked another photographer for this look, which apparently I'm going to have to do. And it really sucks. If you have no foundation with somebody, it's really horrible to start off like this.